All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And in today's episode, I know I'm going to most likely upset some Trump supporters out there. And here's the thing, I would rather for me to do this episode than for me to be one of those people where I feel like I gotta do something dramatic or do something like I'm one of them. The thing is this, I would say I'm a calm non-Trump supporter because yeah, at the end of the day, you got people out there trying to take this man's life. And I'm like, I feel like if I'm just taking the time out of my day to talk about Trump on my podcast, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, there's gonna be people that see something wrong with this. They're gonna find different ways to, I guess, get underneath my skin, and overall, they're upset. They feel a certain way by what I'm saying about Trump. But the thing is, this is like when you look at how this guy operates, when you look at how he just carries himself. Trump reminds me of a very toxic content creator, and that's what I'm going to be more so doing in this episode, comparing Trump to a content creator, because he's no different. You might as well have put Logan Paul in office. It's no disrespect to Logan Paul, but would you guys see this Logan Paul running our country? No. All right. Not properly, at least. Or let me think of some other toxic content creator. Well, I don't know. I just more so had used them as an example. I don't think Logan Paul is a toxic content creator, but I know a lot of people don't like Logan Paul. So yeah, that's why I had used him as a example, because people, they still hold on to that suicide forest. And I mean, people have their God-given right to not like Logan Paul. Just to talk on that real quick. But yeah, overall though, but yeah, would you guys want him to be in office? No, because he's somebody where I'm like, after seeing somebody like Trump in office, I don't trust somebody that's not known for politics being in office. And Trump, in my opinion, he's never been known for being a political person. He might have had some political moments throughout his career, but it wasn't like the, country type politics. It wasn't like, Republican, Democrats, like politics like that. I feel like he had his own little spin of, just politics in his like line of work and stuff. So yeah, and I feel like in his line of work, if he wants to be the best person in his line of work before he got into politics, there is nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as soon as he got into politics, it was a gut feeling, I feel like, that just took over the country for at least half of the country. But yeah, there was a gut feeling that took over half of the country that, we felt something ain't gonna be right if this man gets into office. And I feel like that a lot of his supporters, if not all of his supporters, they're blindly supporting him. Like, I don't think, and that's the thing where I'm like, people don't stop supporting Trump until they're affected by something Trump done said or did. So when you very first looked at this, when you heard that news of Trump running for president, everybody was all like, oh, 100% voting for Trump. Trump, he's always been a funny person. He's always been somebody that, I might not be following this man all across social media and stuff, but overall, I'm like, yeah, I support it, because I'm saying at that time frame, you had Waka Flocka Flame talking about he wanted to. This was like back when Trump had won the presidential elections the first time. But at that time being, when he announced it, you had it where Waka Flocka Flame had announced that he was running for president. Even I probably had made some comments saying that I was running for president. And that's just something that I would ask people: do you trust me as your president? Because that's a genuine question that I have for people. If you say yes, you have way too much faith in me, and you need to understand something right now. I am not going to lead this country into greatness. All right. And and the reason why I say that is because I know absolutely nothing about politics at all. So I know people are going to be looking at me like, oh, well, then why are you talking on Trump? He don't know nothing about politics. He doesn't. The crazy thing about it, I think there was a thing back some time ago where he made some comments about Republicans, like them being idiots or stupid or something like that. I'm thinking to myself, and y'all are the same people that allowed this man to be the leader of your guys' political party? That's like me allowing one of my biggest haters to be the fan, or to be the leader of my fan club. That how is that gonna work? All because they changed their tune, they changed their. The crazy thing about it is that and that's something where I'm like, man, I feel like that more secret conversations need to come out of Trump, because I'm telling you right now, this man has to be saying things about people where it's like, and probably people in his own, well, yeah, we already know he's saying things about people in his own circle. I mean, look at the Mike Pence situation. Like, that's something where you gotta like ask somebody just to talk on that situation real quick. How would you like if your friend was for people wanting to take your life just because you guys had a disagreement? People outside the Capitol chanting, hang Pence, hang Pence. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not something I would want my friends to be behind. I don't want my friends to be behind a crowd trying to kill me. Them ain't my friends. I can't trust y'all no more. So yeah, it's things like that where I'm like, there's a lot of different questions that I want answers to, but that's definitely one question that I would like an answer to. It's crazy how people voted for Mike Pence at one point in time, but just because he had a disagreement, all of a sudden now it's like, oh, we gotta kill this man. We gotta end this man's life just because he had a disagreement with Trump. That's what I'm saying. Like, Trump supporters, they follow this man way too blindly to the point where it's like they genuinely think, because my thing is this, asking the Trump supporters that voted for him the first time around, what did he do for you personally? Because the way that you have people be out here talking about Trump, supporting Trump, all that stuff, willing to take a bullet for Trump, you think this guy's gonna lead you to the promised land. I'm saying, like, when you sit down, when you look at a Trump supporter, you see Trump supporters slowing down traffic. When you see Trump supporters wearing and I've seen a video recently where the guy was out and about wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and the evil looks he was getting off of just wearing a Make America Great Again hat. A hat with just some words on it, and he had people literally mean mugging him. That's something where I'm like, fam, even because the last Republican before Trump was Bush, right? It was George Bush Jr. And I don't even I feel like George Bush, he had some hate going on here and there, but I don't feel like that it was as bad as Trump. If it came down, if it was a toss up between having either of them Republicans, I think I would rather have Bush. Bush, he seemed like a pretty quiet Republican. He didn't seem like the type. Yeah, he might have some skeletons in his closet, but I don't feel like it's not as much as Trump. Trump, I feel like that he has skeletons. He's telling you guys that he has skeletons in his closet, and he wants y'all to support the fact that he got skeletons in his closet. Now, that's one thing that I'll say, that, yeah, there's a lot of people in this world where we got skeletons in our closet, but it's one of those things where it's like, you got to ask that question, do you feel bad for having those skeletons in your closet? Because I feel like there's a lot of times, like, people might, and I don't know, like, I feel like people may look at this as a silly thing to say, but I feel like there are at times where it's like we might accidentally put some skeletons in our closet. But, as long as we apologize, we pray for forgiveness and all that stuff, then I feel like, as that weight, it becomes a little bit lighter. Like them skeletons in your closet, they begin to disappear. I feel like Trump, I feel like he thinks along the lines like he was born in this world with skeletons in his closet, and he's gonna leave this world with skeletons in his closet. And it's gonna be, that's one thing about it where I'm like, I don't want to leave behind a legacy to where after I pass, then it's just all these people coming out talking about me, all saying all these different, because that's one thing about it I know for sure that's going to happen, is that we're going to be hearing so many different things about Trump. And I feel like as the time goes on, you're just going to see this man lose more and more and more supporters. I've seen this happen way too many times as just being involved in the content creating universe, where when a content creator does something to just overall upset like all people, not and I mean like all people, like people on the outside looking in, people like their fans, just everybody. When you get to that point where you've upset everybody, and this is talking as a content creator, you deal with a cancellation so bad that it's like, you think back on how times once was with your content creating career, like on how good things were. And then it's like, dang, what happened? I've, burnt a lot of bridges and I've wronged a lot of people. So overall, it's like, because I mean, when you look at it government workers losing their jobs, where it's like I'm saying, like, having it where there's people because of their gender they can't even serve in the military. It's like there's people that go out and about and they're afraid because it's like, oh, I'm a non-Trump supporter and stuff, so overall it's like I'm afraid that a Trump supporter is gonna see me and feel, because I'm saying Trump supporters are crazy. Like I said, they blindly, and that's just to even talk on that, just to even talk on his supporters, like that blind support. I feel like at the end of the day, people don't even know why they voted for him. They voted for him because, oh, he's more out there than Biden. He's more disrespectful than Obama. Oh, he doesn't let people walk all over him and stuff. He doesn't. I'm not saying that people did that to Obama and Biden. I feel like people had respect for Biden and Obama. Is with Trump though. He doesn't. I feel like that with him. The respect is, he don't care about it. He don't care if people respect him or not. I'm saying, like, having it where it's just you invite the Ukrainian president over to our country, and I feel like if this would have been Biden, Obama, Kamala Harris, even Bush, I feel like if we would have invited this man over and let's just even say Bush for an example. I feel like if I had to guess how Bush would have reacted to Zelensky, I think that's that guy's name. But anyways, the Ukrainian president, if he would have came over here, or if that stuff would have been going on while Bush was in office, or just even if Bush was in office now, I don't feel like it would have been an argument. I don't feel like it would have been an argument at all. I feel like that Bush, he carried himself in a way where he didn't want to have an argument. And maybe I don't know too much about Bush, but I feel like if it came down between having one of them two Republicans in office, I'm choosing Bush. I feel like, yeah, like I said, he might have some skeletons in his closet, but it's not as bad as Trump. And I know people are going to probably feel a certain way about the things I'm saying about Trump, but it's like, why is it an issue when people talk about Trump, but it's not an issue when Trump talk about people? He can literally give people nicknames. And everybody's like, well, not everybody, more so just Trump supporters. They laughing about it, mimicking what he says, repeating it, echoing it out, to the whole world and stuff. As soon as I upload this podcast episode, oh, we got to say disrespectful things about you. We got to do this. It's like, why am I not entitled to my own opinion? Like that's the thing that I never understood about Trump supporters. It's like, it's okay if he says something about somebody, but it's a problem. And I've dealt with people like that before. It's okay for him to say things about people, but it's a problem if I say something about him. I've dealt with people like that before in the content creating universe. And it's silly. It's silly that it's all like, I'm supposed to be quiet, but somebody that's talking about me can say whatever they want to say about me and stuff. And I'm not with that, and I think that's how a lot of people are looking at it, is like, I'm not going to allow Trump to walk all over me. But just even because I wanted to definitely talk on a lot of these government workers losing their job. I feel like that's just bad at the end of the day, and you sit down and you think about it, not so much as for like just the American people. I mean, yes, it is overall bad for the American people, but I feel like that is bad for Trump too. Because I feel, the thing is this, I'm not trying to promote anything. If anything, I'm more so trying to just spread awareness to it, like, letting Trump know. I'm like, fam, you really need to. Well, yeah, he got Secret Service, watching, giving him a full blown like 360 treatment. They're not gonna let this man out of his sight. But I feel like the wise thing that Trump could possibly do is just stay out of the media light and stuff. Like, stay out of the media. Don't go out on no whatever, whether it's TV, social media, whatever, saying some old crazy stuff. It's one of those things, because I'm like, talking again, like as if, well, yeah, I've compared him to a content creator, but let's say if he was one and this is how he was running his career, my advice to him would be, you got to stop doing what you're doing. Because all you doing at the end of the day is upsetting people, and you're giving people a reason to go after you. And that's the thing where it's like, I'm saying, like, even you had literally signs prior before you even became president of the United States, two people trying to take your life. And it's one of those things where I'm like, man, if I'm president, right, or if I'm running for president, and I realized I've had it at the end of the day where people didn't support me, they didn't like me, and it was because of stuff that I've said and done. And overall, my thing is this, like, what I've done is just try to avoid those people. I'm like, I ain't going to talk with them people. I ain't gonna have no conversations. I'm gonna do any and everything in my power to avoid those people. I feel like Trump, on the other hand, he wants to upset as many people as he possibly could, and while he's in office. And I'm like, fam, that, here's the thing. Because I know people will probably ask, like, oh, well, how would you go about being president? How should the president act? You're expecting them to act like Biden? You're expecting them to act like Obama? Here's the thing. Biden, he might have been getting up there in age, but I would have to say that, looking at his time in office and comparing it to just Trump's time in office these past few months, yeah, go ahead and put Biden back in office. I would rather see him in office. And I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, a woman can't run this country. I'd rather see Kamala Harris in office. And it's like, give Barack Obama his third term. Give George Bush his third term. It's one of those things where I'm all like, I would rather see any and everybody in office. And that's one thing about it too, even just kind of talking on his on the vice president too, what was that guy's name, like Vance or something like that. It's gonna be in a matter of time before Trump gives you the Mike Pence treatment and he starts disrespecting you too. That's something where I'm like, if I'm that guy, if I'm Vance, I'm definitely looking at him like, okay, so when are you gonna turn on me? Because I know it's gonna happen. I know for a fact that it's gonna happen, So yeah, and it'll just be in a matter of time before that guy either he has some disagreement with Trump, and then Trump's all like, nah, I'm kicking you to the curb. I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, you gotta look at it where it's like Trump don't care about nobody. And I feel like I've said this before. He don't care about nobody besides himself. I'm saying, if you're willing, my thing is this: if you're willing to throw your own people in a ball of fire, yeah, that's something where I'm like, I couldn't work alongside that, man. Having it where it's all like, oh, throw my own people, and it's throw my own people in the fire and then pull people out that deserve to be, in that fire. I mean, like, not an actual like ball of flames, but just, the problems that they face afterwards, like, talking on them people that raided the Capitol. It's okay. So my thing is this: would it have been okay if it was Obama supporters doing that or Biden supporters doing that? Because I guarantee and I promise you Trump supporters would have been talking about that. I mean, you guys was getting on people for the rioting, during the Breonna Taylor and George Floyd situation. You guys was getting on us for that. My thing is this: we were out on public streets protesting. Now, the looters and the people that were causing destruction, that's on them. But there are people out there that were simply just protesting. And you had it where they were Trump supporters and Trump was getting on us for that. And I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so what is against the law? Where protesting has been going on for how long now, especially if it's a peaceful protest? How is that against the law? All right, let me just look that up real quick. I want to see, is peaceful protesting against the law? Is peaceful protesting legal? Let's just see. Yes, peaceful protesting is legal in the United States, as it is protected by the First Amendment right to freedom of assembly and speech. This means individuals have the right to express their views through peaceful protest without interference from the government unless there is a legitimate threat to our safety or public order. What happened on January 6th? I feel like that there is definitely a violation of people's safety and order when you see nothing but a bunch of Trump supporters, attacking and assaulting police officers. I'm saying, like, there's a lot going on, with just that whole area of the world talking on Trump and Trump supporters and stuff. People need to realize that, if you blindly supporting Trump, I mean, even if you feel like you do have a legitimate reason on supporting Trump, now I'm going to look at you as all like, okay, well then you got something against people then. And there's a lot more that I could say. I possibly might end up doing a part 2 to this episode, but no, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off on this note where people gotta really reconsider who they voted for to be in office. And the thing is this, when you have former Trump supporters getting on TV saying, man, I regret voting for him, I feel like that's going to be a lot more Trump supporters. It ain't just going to be the ones we see on TV. It's going to probably end up being half of his supporters that regret. I feel like once when they all get affected by it, then that's when they're going to be like, dang, we don't vote for that. I definitely feel like it's going to be, if like whoever the next person is, I feel like maybe Trump might not even endorse anybody. I feel like he's just going to leave, once when his 4 years is up, he's just going to leave the White House. He ain't going to endorse nobody. He ain't going to like, oh, everybody vote for this person, none of that. Cause I'm looking at it as like, he wants somebody to do something for him. Again, like with the content creating mindset. And I feel like that's how he went into the White House, with the content creating mindset. And I've seen people carry on like this before, where they expect you to do something for them. That's not gonna happen. I feel like that there is not one person in this world that can pay Trump enough money. I feel like what if anything, he might have like the bare minimum. He's gonna have like some subscription plan or something like, oh, pay me this odd amount of money every month, and yeah, I might make a little tweet here and there and things supporting you and stuff. But there ain't gonna be a person in this world that can pay him a lot of money unless what somebody like Elon Musk. Maybe, possibly, but and I hope that's one person I'm like, yeah, if he gets in office, I'm like, nah, I'm like, I ain't trying to have it where we living in a Tesla world and stuff. So yeah, the thing is this, and just to even talk on that real quick, because I feel, that being brought out on the table and stuff. Look at how Twitter is right now. You trying to have it where this country done changed into something that it's not even supposed to be. What it was doing, well, I mean, yeah, overall the country, it's never been in a good state. But overall, my thing is this. I'm like, that's why I'm like, yeah, that whole make America great again. I'm like, America is never great. So I'm like, anybody that says, oh, America was at one point in time great. I'm like, when was it great? When you had black leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X being shot and killed simply for their views. Or let's even go back some time before that, when slavery was a thing. Or even some time before that where I'm like, and it's something that we still deal with till this day, where there's literally wars going on left and right within our country. I'm like, that's one of those things. I'm like, fam, anybody that says America was great, and I'm like, America has never been great, at least not for no person of color, so anyways, yeah, I'm like, y'all take that however you guys want to take that, but I'm like, yeah, America has never been in a great state, so that's why I'm like, people always chanting that, wearing hats, t-shirts, whatever they want to wear. I'm like, yeah, that's a flat out lie. I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, sit down and take a moment to just please look at that, but anyways, yeah, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.